welcome back to my channel. Let's learn together. So, today we will be starting our seventh learning experience of English Class 9. And as we can see, that the topic of this learning experience will be the power of inclusive language. So, what is inclusive language basically? Look, inclusive language involves choosing words and phrases in our speech that respects and acknowledges all people regardless of whatever background they come from, or what their gender is, what their race is, or ability or other characteristics. That means overlooking the diversities of people. Like in our speech, the choosing of our words and phrases that will respect everybody, okay, regardless of whatever backgrounds they belong from, that is called inclusive language. Okay, so it avoids excluding or marginalizing or offending anybody. Okay, so that is basically what we call inclusive language. Now we have, like, our entire chapter or learning experience will be based on inclusive language and different forms of inclusive language, and how we can use inclusive language to make our works done, or to cooperate or collaborate with different people. Right, so as you can see, the first activity 7.1.1, that is what we are going to solve today in this video. So let's see what this has. Discuss the following questions in pairs or groups and share your responses with the class. Okay, so as you can see, some questions have been given here. So we are supposed to answer this question and share our answers with the class. So this question is about instrumental power. What is instrumental power basically, and how is it related to inclusive language? Look, basically, instrumental power refers to the power that is used to achieve any sort of practical goals, or like we can see the examples of instrumental power in some authoritative settings, like in offices, workplaces, in governmental organizations, or even in our schools. Okay, so this means that showing an authority in our language to make our works done by people. Okay, now how is it related to inclusive language? Look, using inclusive language in authoritative settings like offices or government or in school is very crucial, because it helps us create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected. Okay, and for this, in return, we can improve cooperation, productivity, and overall success. That means, in when it comes to instrumental power, at that time, if we focus on keeping our words, phrases, or any, let's say, sentences to give commands to people, at that time, if we focus on inclusive language, then we can ensure that people are going to feel valued and loved, and in return, we will see that they have become more productive, and they are cooperating more. Other than that, if we focus on just giving commands in a very, what should I say, in a very violent way, or in a way that people would think that the person who is having the authority is very, let's say, bad tempered or very offensive. Okay, so people will have that sort of perception if we do not use inclusive language while proving our power or authority in front of someone. Okay, so that is how instrumental power is related to uh, inclusive language, and it also shows us the importance of inclusive language. Now we will see the answers to all these four questions. All right, so as you can see, that here are the answers to all these questions. The first question, that what is instrumental power? All right, so instrumental power is the power used by individuals or groups to maintain and enforce authority. It often involves giving commands, making rules, or setting expectations that others must follow. This type of power is often seen in formal settings like workplaces, schools, or government. All right, I hope you can understand that what this means, that instrumental power is a sort of power that is used by people to enforce their power or to demonstrate their authority by making people believe or do the works that they set. Okay, then the next question is, what are the language features of instrumental power people usually use in conversations? That means how people use instrumental power in their conversations. That means how can they make an effect on the psychology of people in order to make their works done by others. Okay, so here are some examples that people using instrumental power often use specific language features, such as direct commands: do this, complete this task, follow these instructions. These are basically the things that we find our teachers telling to our students. Then formal language, using formal titles and polite but authoritative language, applying convincing techniques. That means there are specific um, psychological techniques that people use that people use to basically show their instrumental power, but at the same time they ensure that their words are inclusive so that they can affect the mentality of the targeted people. Okay, then imperative sentences, sentences that give orders or instructions, clear and structured communication, often concise and to the point, leaving little room for interpretation or debate. That means the people who are basically using the instrumental power, their points or whatever they say, they ensure that those things are won't be debatable. Okay, even if it is a bit, well, there might be a little place for making a debate or some or having some counter arguments, but mostly they try to keep their sentences properly structured. And that's when we can say that their words are demonstrating instrumental power by the help of inclusive language. Because, well, clear and structured communication basically it demonstrates the confidence of people and it helps to build up trust. Then the next question is, have you experienced any language features of instrumental power while communicating with others? If yes, what are they? That means here you have to share your own experience, that how you have seen other people using instrumental power while communication. So here are a few of the examples: that teachers giving instructions, that's a demonstration of instrumental power because they are giving an order or a command. Okay, for example, finish your homework by tomorrow. Then bosses at work, they say submit the report by the end of the day. Parents setting rules, you must be home by 9 p.m. All these demonstrate instrumental power, as these are referring, or these are creating an impact on people so that they can fulfill these rules that are set by these specific people. Then the next question, have you noticed any evidence of sharing instrumental power in conversation? If yes, what words or expressions they used in their conversation? So this is an let's say these are some evidences, some example type evidences that you can write where you can see instrumental power being used. So inclusive language, we need to, then let's work on this together. Then polite requests, could you please, or would you mind? That means, look, when we use these sort of phrases in our sentences, or when we use these sentences, that time these are creating a positive impact on people, and at the same time our work is being done. So instrumental power does not always mean that our tone will be very ordering type. Okay, but it also means that our tone will be in such a way that people will feel collaborated or people will feel valued while completing the tasks that are assigned for them. Okay, then suggestions instead of commands. How about we try, or maybe we could? Okay, these sort of things, these sort of phrases to demonstrate instrumental power basically encourages people more to do a task properly with a good mood. Then this is an example of sharing instrumental power. Instead of saying finish this by 5 p.m., a boss might say that can we aim to finish this by 5 p.m.? Let me know if you need any help. This makes the conversation feel more cooperative and less authoritative. Because when we use like more authoritative statements, like you have to do this, you don't have any other options, that time it creates a negative impact on people's mentality. Okay, which makes them feel sad or bad, or people might have lower self-esteem because of that. So to avoid those things, using inclusive language in our commands is very important. All right. I think you have done picking this entire thing up. All right, then that's it. That's all for today's video. I think you have answered all these four questions. In the next video, we will solving the next activities of this learning experience. So for today, goodbye, and we will meet in the next video.